Hi, I'm Chef Sherry Ronning, and I'm here to show you how to make chicken quesadillas on the Blackstone Griddle. Chicken quesadillas on the Blackstone Griddle are very easy to do. We only need just a couple ingredients. We have the shredded cheese that we're going to be using. We're going to use flour tortillas. You can use any kind of tortillas that you would like, any size that you would like. It's pretty flexible as far as what size you use. If you want to make smaller ones, I've made mini quesadillas before. We're going to be using the flour tortillas for this recipe, along with some diced chicken breast. With this recipe, you can use chicken legs or thighs, just cut up boneless, skinless if you would like. You can use actually pre-cooked chicken, like if you have rotisserie chicken left over from the night before, you can use that also. But for this recipe, I'm just using diced, boneless, skinless chicken breast. I'm also using diced onions and peppers. You want to use your favorite seasonings. For this recipe, I'm using Lawry's and Morton's seasoning. And then I have some olive oil. So we're going to get started. The griddle is preheated. We're going to do about medium, low. We don't want too high. I'm actually maybe going to turn it down to low. We don't want it too high because you don't want it to get too cooked on the outside. So I'm actually going to show you a couple different ways to do this. I've done it several different ways. This is a recipe that I make for my family all the time. So we're just going to put some olive oil. I use olive oil in a squirt bottle. I have my griddle spatula. We're just going to spread that around a little bit. I have the diced onions and peppers. We're just going to put that on the griddle. So with the diced onions and peppers, you can do bigger pieces if your family likes bigger chunks. My family likes the peppers and onions cooked up really well, so they don't like the rawness of it at all. So I dice them up pretty small. And then I'm also going to add the chicken, the diced chicken, in a separate spot on the griddle in front there. Just make sure to wipe your hands if you get chicken juice on it and stuff. Keep it clean. So then at this point I'm going to add my seasoning. So I'm going to season both the chicken and the onions and peppers. And then I'm just going to let that cook. So this will take a few minutes. So we're going to spread this out a little bit. So that we can get it to cook nice and evenly. This will probably take, I would say, about 5 minutes for this to cook. You want to make sure that the chicken is cooked all the way through before we make it into our chicken quesadilla. So I suggest just letting it cook. Don't play with it. Let it get good and golden brown on one side, and then we'll flip it over. So just let it cook and be patient with it. Don't constantly keep on flipping it because that's not helping the cooking process. You want a little bit of golden brown on the bottom of your chicken, and you just want to let it cook. So that's what we're going to do. So now you can see our chicken has been cooking for a couple minutes. And you can see it bubbling really good, and you can see some of them are actually kind of cooked on the top, but they're still raw on some places on here. So this is our griddle. You could tell is a little bit warmer in certain spots than in others. So we're just going to take the spatula and just flip it over. So if you want to speed up the cooking process a little bit, you can use a dome lid over top of this, and that will make your chicken cook a little bit faster. It'll trap the heat in there and steam from the cooking food and you'll be able to cook it a little bit faster. I just like to just give it time, just let it cook, let it brown. If you also want to turn the burner up just a little bit and get it to cook a little bit faster, you can. So then once your chicken is cooked pretty good, then you can actually combine the peppers and the onions into it. Or if you desire, you can actually cook it all together. I've done it both ways. You know, either way is fine. However you like to cook. I just like to do it separate. And then when I combine it, then the flavor of the peppers and the onions will cook into the chicken. So after you get the onion, pepper, and the chicken cooked up really well, you just want to make sure that the chicken is cooked all the way through. You want to make sure that it's nice and tender. Don't overcook it, because if you overcook it, it's going to get rubbery and chewy, and that's not what you want. You want the chicken to be just cooked. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do this. So we're actually going to do a whole one. So we're going to place the tortilla shell on the griddle. You're going to take a sprinkle of the cheese. Kind of want it all the way. And then you're going to take your cooked chicken. I'm just going to double check to make sure that it's cooked. It's hot, nice and hot. It tastes really good, nice and juicy. It's not overcooked. You could see the juice still cooking there. So we're just going to sprinkle. You don't want to overload it. I found that if I put too much of the toppings on it, it just is too much. So you just want to make sure that you spread it out. So just think of it when you're cutting this up and eating it and you take a bite. You want to have like a bite of pepper, a bite of onion, and a bite of chicken along with the cheese and the tortilla in one bite. So you want to make sure just to spread everything out, but you don't want a whole bunch of chicken in one bite. You just want to have like one piece at a time. So then we're going to put another layer. And this cheese is also too, you can use any type of cheese that you like. I'm using the 4 cheese blend. You can use Colby Jack. You can use, if you decide if you want to use cheddar. This is just what our family likes to eat with their quesadillas. So we're going to do another layer, and then I'm going to take this quesadilla on top here, and it's just going to melt. I'm going to press it down a little bit so the cheese melts onto it, and we're just going to let it cook. So we don't want it to get too brown on the bottom. That's one thing. That's why I had the griddle on low, so that it didn't overcook the tortilla when it's on the bottom. So this is one way that I've done it, where it's whole and then I cut it up in pieces. The next way that I'm going to show you how to do it is do a half a one, where you fold it and then cut it up in pieces that way. That's to do it that way, you don't have to flip it. With this way, you're going to have to flip it. So some people might not like that, might not like to flip it. So we've got the cheese is melting pretty good. So I'm going to hold my hand on the top here. The griddle's going to go on the bottom completely, and we're just going to do one quick fast motion. So we're going to flip it just like that, and we're going to align it if it came out of alignment. So by doing it this way, you're toasting the bottom, and then you're going to toast the other side, and it's going to give that insides a chance to really melt and get ooey gooey on the inside. So we're just going to let that cook. Just going to slide it over there a little bit. So then I'm going to show you how to do the halfway method. So we're just going to, and as you noticed, I didn't put anything down on the griddle underneath of it. No oil, no nothing. We just want a dry griddle when we're doing this. So I'm going to place the whole tortilla. I'm going to put, just like I did the first time, and then I'm going to put some cheese. I'm going to put kind of a generous amount top and bottom. There. We're going to spread the toppings. So it just depends on how much you want to use. And the toppings can really be adjusted for whatever you want to eat. So we've added mushrooms along with the onions and the peppers. And then we're going to just take and flip this. I'm going to add just a little bit more cheese. This is going to be a really full one. So this one, ooh yeah, that one is done. We're just going to scrape off our spatula here. And I have a plate here, so I'm just going to take this off, set it on the plate. We're going to cut it up. And look how good that looks. You have your ooey gooey stuff. Look how the cheese is ooey gooey on the inside. So this one here, we're going to fold. We're going to do half, and then this is going to be a pretty full one. So this is going to be your full. We're going like that, and then we're just going to smoosh down a little bit, and you see it's nice and golden brown there. And we're just going to let that cook just a little bit more. And we're going to do another one. This one we're only going to cover half. So I have just a little bit of filling here. Dry griddle, put the tortilla shell down. The cheese. And so we're just going to do cheese on half. We're going to add the filling, the quesadilla filling. like that. We're going to add a little bit more cheese on the top. So this one isn't going to be as full as that one. And then you can let it cook just a little bit more. If any of the fillings come out, you can just kind of push it in. But look at this. Look how nice and melty, ooey gooey that is there. And so this is a very full, we have a very full chicken quesadilla here. And then this one isn't going to be as full. So this is nice, nice and golden brown. And if you want, you can flip it over. It's easier to flip over that way than a whole one. So pat it down a little bit to kind of get the cheese to stick on the inside. And then you're just going to let it cook till you think the cheese is melted and it's nice and warm on the inside, and just pull it off and cut it. So we have our quesadillas all done, all cooked. We're going to cut them. So you can cook them right on the grid or cut them right on the griddle if you prefer. So we're just going to do with these, we're going to do 3 triangles. And look, nice and hot. Look how good that looks right there. It's nice and ooey gooey, just how you want it. This is our thick quesadilla, so it might lose some of its filling a little bit. So with this, you want to make sure to cut that middle one there. You want to leave a little bit of an end. You don't want to cut that right to the point. So and if any of the filling comes out, you just push it in just a little bit and you're good to go on that. So here's the whole chicken quesadilla. You could serve it with ranch, sour cream, salsa, any of your favorite things that you want to serve it with. Our family likes a ranch, so that's what I have for us here today. So I cut the whole one into triangles, and I'm going to just dip it in ranch. Nice and ooey gooey filling. Cheese is nice and melted. It's not too done on the outside. Just a light golden brown crust. And that's perfect. I hope you enjoyed this chicken quesadilla recipe. Like this page, like this recipe, subscribe to my page, go to my website, FromMichiganToTheTable.com. to get all kinds of Blackstone Griddle recipes. You'll get this recipe. So give this a try. Bye.